G'day everyone, welcome to Macbeth Act 3 Scene 4. So we've just had Act 3 Scene 3 where we've seen the murderers who Macbeth hired kill Banquo but Fleance escapes. So Act 3 Scene 4 is at a banquet and all the Scottish lords are there. Well, not all of them. There's one important person missing and we'll come to him soon. And everyone's saying, oh, sit down. Everyone's being a nice, civilized company. But the murderers come in from the side stage and confirm that Banquo has been killed, but that Fleance has escaped. And then Macbeth says, then comes my fit again, which means that he's scared, insecure, and paranoid again. The murderers leave, and Lady Macbeth reminds him that Macbeth needs to attend to his duties as host and king of this party. Now, at this point, the ghost of Banquo enters and sits in Macbeth's place. So this is interesting. And Macbeth quips here that Banquo's said he would come, but he's not here. Of course, that's dramatic irony because only Macbeth and the audience know that Banquo is definitely not coming. The characters do not. And it's a bit of twisted deceit on Macbeth's part too, I think. And the lords tell Macbeth to sit again, but he says the table's full. Lennox says, here is a place reserved, sir. Where? And Macbeth hasn't realized that the person sitting in his seat is actually the ghost of Banquo. And then he realizes, he says, which one of you have done this? And the mood really shifts now at the banquet. And the lords say, what, my good lord? That's because Macbeth is the only person who can see Banquo's ghost. So Macbeth then talks directly to the ghost. Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me. So that means that Macbeth is saying, hey, I didn't kill you. Don't accuse me. Of course, that's all rubbish. Then Ross, one of the noblemen, says, gentlemen, rise. His Highness is not well. So the implication there is that the banquet's over. Let's go home. But Lady Macbeth comes in and says, sit down, come down. It's all okay. Macbeth is actually like this and has been for a long time since he was young. So it's nothing to worry about. It'll pass. And then Lady Macbeth tries to go back to the way things were when she could manipulate him with some shame and get him to do what she wanted him to do. She says, oh, proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. So she accuses him of being a coward. Again, she attacks his masculinity, his manhood, and she refers to the air-drawn dagger, which you said led you to Duncan. And so we know that Macbeth has been sharing things with Lady Macbeth until this time. Oh, these flaws and starts, impostors to true fear, would well become a woman's story at a winter's fire. So again, she's really insulting his manhood and saying this is sort of, women's stuff and fairly insulting to women as well. But Macbeth isn't really paying her much mind here. He says, prithee, see thee, behold, look, lo, how say you? And he's totally caught up with the ghost and he can't make full sentences here. Lady Macbeth tries to bring him back. My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you. Then Macbeth comes back to his senses for a little bit here. I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all, then I'll sit down, give me some wine, feel full. So he's calmed down a little bit now. The banquet's going to go on as normal, but Banquo comes back in. And Macbeth loses his mind again. Avaunt and quit my sight, let the earth hide thee, as in a grave. The bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold, thou hast no speculation in those eyes, which thou dost glare with me. And so he's really describing this horrific figure of the ghost. And Lady Macbeth tries to cover things again. Think of this, good peers, but as a thing of custom, 'tis no other, only it spoils the pleasure of the time. And so she's saying, don't worry about it too much. but it's a shame that it's happening now and it's spoiling this beautiful dinner. And down here, Macbeth says, "What man dare I dare?" And so this is a nice little echo from earlier in the play in Act 1, where Lady Macbeth was trying to poke at Macbeth's sense of courage and doing what men do, in that if Macbeth was a real man, he would say he would go and kill King Duncan as he had promised to Lady Macbeth. So it's a nice little echo here that Macbeth is riffing on this by himself without any influence from Lady Macbeth now. She tries to get angry with him. "You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with most admired disorder." But Macbeth really isn't listening. "Can such things be and overcome us like a summer's cloud?" So he's not really paying attention to her now at all. And so all the lords leave. Then down here we've got, "How sayest that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding?" So remember early on I said that one person is not there and that that person is important, and that's Macduff. So Macduff is not there, and far from learning his lesson from killing Duncan and Banquo, he is going to then, or this now foreshadows that he is going to go forth and kill Macduff as well. So his paranoia has now shifted to Macduff. All right. Lady Macbeth tries it again. "You lack the season of all nature's sleep." So you haven't slept. And then Macbeth says, "Come, will to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet but young in the deed." And so he says, "Yeah, I'll try and sleep. These feelings of guilt and hallucinations are just coming from inexperience because they're beginners to the crimes of murder." All right, and that's it for Act 3, Scene 4. Thanks, everyone.